Let's talk about life's transitions. Now, what is a life transition? I'm going to talk about a few things that when you go through it, you may not be thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going through a transition. But if your life is changing in any way, shifting, um, that means that you are going through a transition. Sometimes we just don't call it that. So let's talk a little bit about what a transition feels like. When you are going through a transition, it feels like it's something that you don't want to go through. It feels like something is forcing you out of your comfort zone. It feels like something is changing and not for the better. Because as humans, we don't like change. We think that we like things the way that they are. Most times, adults don't want to learn anything new. They don't want to go any. They don't want to try anything new. They don't want to go to any new places, meet any new people, places, or things. And so, knowing that as an adult, when you are used to a situation, you want to keep that situation the way that it is most of the time. And sometimes when you are going through transition or change, you are resisting it all the way. Just think if you are at work and you have to follow a new practice or procedure. Most of the time, we don't want to do it because we're comfortable with the way things are. We know how to do the procedure, we know how to follow the process, and any shifts or changes in that, a lot of times we are resistant to. So, I'm going to just go through a couple of transitions that you might go through as an adult. One of them is a career change. It could be, sometimes career changes come in the form of a strong suggestion to leave. That's how I will say that. And sometimes you want to leave to follow your purpose. Maybe you need more hours and they're not giving you enough. Maybe they're giving you too many hours and you don't want to work that much. So it could be some type of a career change. Um, it could also be a transition, could also be retirement. That's the thing that I'm going through. I have 60 days and I will be retiring. Woo, woo. I wish I had some kind of sound I could make, but um, um, so I'll be retiring. So that is where you have spent a certain amount of time working at a certain place, and now your time is complete. That's what I told somebody today. My time there is complete. So another transition may be as you're older, you experience the empty nest. So maybe your kids have gone off to college, or maybe they got married, or maybe, um, I don't know, they moved away. And so now all of this time and attention that you have been putting into your kids, you now get to put it into yourself and other things. And so it might also be a divorce or a breakup. Um, Maybe you wanted the divorce, maybe you didn't. Maybe you initiated the breakup, maybe you didn't. But you find yourself by yourself, and um, maybe that means that you're navigating new territory. Another transition might be a health crisis. Sometimes we only begin taking our health seriously when it is in crisis. You know, a couple of weeks ago, I was having problems with my blood pressure. My blood pressure was escalating. And I've never had issues with my blood pressure. I was like, what is going on? So I got me an elliptical. I'm drinking water. I'm doing all these other kind of things because it's like when it's fine now, it's back down to normal. But I guess because I was going through realizing that I was going to be retiring, something else. Oh, we were going through negotiations. I mean, it was a lot going on. And so I think maybe that I was holding on to that quite a bit. But a transition could also be a health scare. Another transition that you might find yourself in life is that you might be you might have lost a loved one. Maybe a loved one has transitioned. And so the person that has been there for you all the time, the person that has supported you is no longer there. And so you may have feelings of loneliness, sadness, and that might be a transition. You are transitioning to life without this person that has been with you for a certain period of time. Another transition that you could be on as you are finding your purpose could be moving to a new city. It could be because you wanted to move to a new city or because your job transferred you to a new city, but you are in new surroundings with new people, new places. You got to find a new doctor, a new dentist. You got to go through the whole thing of being in a new place that you've never been in before. You might also have I'm giving you 10, this is number 8. You might also have had a spiritual awakening. Maybe spiritually, you are opening yourself up to new ideas, or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe you're closing your heart and mind to the spiritual practices that you have had in the past. Um, Number 9 is interesting. Um, as a transition, maybe you become an entrepreneur. Now, listen, I have personal experience in this. I've been a serial entrepreneur and I have been an I've also had a brick and mortar for 9 years. When you step into that realm of being an entrepreneur, it kind of changes everything. It changes your time, it changes your effort, your sleep, your finances. Like everything. I often say that when you start a business, your business reflects you. So if you are outgoing and a people pleaser, that means that customers are going to love coming to where you are and they are going to feel good when they get there. If you don't pay a lot of attention to detail, that is what your business is going to look like. If you are focused on money, then maybe you will make a lot of money. I believe that your business reflects you. And um, the 10th way that you might be experiencing a transition is maybe a financial hardship or a breakthrough. So maybe you find that you don't have enough money, or maybe you have a windfall of money. Both of those things could put you in a transition. So I'm talking about transition um, right now because transition is the thing that can open us up to discover what our purpose is and why we are here. Because, David Brooks talks about these two mountains. That the first mountain, when you are a young adult into adult, um, you go up this first mountain, you are achieving things, you're going to school, you're going to college, you're going to trade school, you are getting a promotion, you are getting a certification, you're going through these things that you have a, a 2.5 kids and the white picket fence. Like, you are literally going up this ladder of success on this first mountain, and then something happens. There's a transition that happens, which is what we're talking about this evening. Something happens in your life that makes you feel, think, and believe that none of the things that you had in the first mountain are important. So if you are leaving a new job, or maybe your loved one has transitioned, all of the accoutrements of wealth or success may not mean as much if the person that you intended to share it with is no longer there. And so it really is you um in this new space of transition, what do you do? I believe that one of the best things you could do when you're in that situation, in that moment of transition, is to figure out why you're here. If you lost someone who was very important to you, it's going to be critical that you really get clear on the things that bring you joy. And for most of us, one of the things that brings us joy is living in our purpose and solving a problem that only we were created to solve. So I have given you 10 examples of some transitions that you might have gone through or going through or may go through. And I just want you to be open to the opportunity and the possibility that that might be the perfect time for you to figure out why you are here. Hit the subscribe button and the follow button so that we can stay connected.